imagine building a sandcastle. Imagine going to the beach and you're building a sandcastle. Now, if you build it too close to the water, what's going to happen?
Water comes up, washes it away.
It's going to come up and it's going to wash it away. So you get a little smarter next time and you move a little bit further away, right? Then what happens? The water gets closer again, and you go, man, I can't stop the water. The water is life. Life you can't stop from happening. So then you start digging tunnels. You start to get strategic, and you say, I'm going to dig tunnels. The water's going to come in. It's going to go into the tunnel. Now I got a little bit more time. I can build it up a little bit higher. And then what happens is some kids throwing a football, and the guy just the little kid runs into your sandcastle, and he breaks it anyway. So now you got to be more strategic. Now you got to go and recruit some other kids to help you build the castle and put some bricks in front of the castle. Then you got to build the tunnels of water so the water goes underneath, and you have to build a fortress around it so you could build behind the scenes. And that's what protection does when you're building your empire, okay? People focus, like you said before, on building wealth, obtaining things and assets, two totally different things. So when you're obtaining things, you're in the accumulation phase of your life, which I'm assuming most people in this group are our age, or even maybe a little younger, a little older, are still in the accumulation phase of their life. They're going to hit some rocks. Life is going to hit them. It's going to knock them down. They're going to have to pull money from their retirement plan from work. They're going to have to, unforeseen circumstances inevitable. You can't prevent life from happening, but you can plan for it. So if you put together the appropriate plan, you can make sure that no unforeseen circumstance knocks you down financially. I can't help you in your relationship and in your spiritual life, but financially, I can help you create a plan that no matter what happens to you, life can't knock you on your ass. And that's where I came up with the exposure rating. It's your actual rating, or your percentage, your chance of something happening to you specifically and getting knocked on your ass financially. And then after we come up with that exposure rating, I will show you how to fill the gaps. So let's get to the exposure rating, right? So
let's do it.
Number one, if you have a pencil or paper or a calculator, grab that, because you're going to have to do a little bit of math. Okay. So the first thing is health insurance. Okay. So health insurance, if you're an entrepreneur, is super expensive because you don't work for a company, or if you're a real estate investor, you don't work for a company, so you're responsible for your own health insurance. If you do work for a company, awesome. Stop complaining about your premiums, because your boss pays more for your premiums than you pay for it. If you don't like the coverage, that's a different story. You could knock on my door and introduce me to your boss, and maybe I can help you out there. But as far as having that health care in place, that's 25% of your score, believe it or not. People take that for advantage. So if you have dental and vision, you'll get like 5 points for each one. And then the main medical, big medical is 20%. So that equals 25% altogether. So it'll be 15, 5, and 5. Comes up to 25%, depending on what you have and what services you have. So most people have that if they're a W-2 employee.
To clarify, are we referencing health insurance or life insurance?
Health insurance.
Got it. Okay.
So the next part of this exposure rating is the disability insurance. Disability insurance also, if you are a W-2 employee, if you have a job or career, chances are your job gives you some type of disability insurance, right? Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Sometimes you opt in, you opt out. You don't want it to come out of your check, whatever. Let's just say you're a responsible person and you took the disability insurance from your job, or they give it to you for free. Okay. This is going to be some free points you're going to get. There's two parts. There's short-term disability and long-term. Companies are never really going to give you long-term. They're going to give you short-term disability. Now, short-term disability, because they want you to get back to work, they're only going to cover maybe 30 to 60% of your total income. Now, most people can't live on 100% of their income. Imagine living on 30% of it, or living on a smaller amount. So you need to fill a gap there, okay? But let's just say you get 50%, or you get somehow you have a supplemental, whatever. They had Affleck come in, which I work with every company and every financial institution. So there's no company that I can't work with. So I'm not married to any one particular company or product. It's just the strategy. So it's not the same for everybody as well. So let's say you got that 12.5%. Okay. You still don't have long-term disability insurance. So far you have how much? You have a 25% and 12.5. So 37.5. You have 37.5% exposure rating so far. The third part I want to ask you, do you know what long-term care is?
Long-term care in reference to health insurance?
Insurance, long-term care insurance. It's
I
okay.
don't.
Most people don't.
No, I don't. So
Okay.
I'm excited to learn.
Long-term care insurance is the most expensive insurance that you could purchase today. 20, 30 years ago, it wasn't. It was affordable. So if your parents have it, that's great. If your grandparents have it, that's phenomenal. But today, it's super expensive. So most people lose their whole 25% on this. And what long-term care insurance takes care of your expenses in a nursing home, takes care of any you need somebody to stay with you all the time, and you need somebody to take care of you because you have some type of sickness, or something's not right because you're getting up there in age and you need help. Okay, so you need assisted living. So that's what that type of insurance is for. But it only pays the medical facilities. It only pays for that. You can't use it for anything else. Okay, the premiums today are really expensive. So most of the time we get a zero on that. Okay. I'm impressed if somebody has that. So then the fourth part is the life insurance. Okay. Now the life insurance, when you say the word life insurance, people are like, okay, that's for when I die, to bury me, right? It's my final cost. There's so many more reasons to use and implement this tool. And I'm going to show you one right now that you probably never knew. Life insurance, if you have anything, whether, first of all, if it's at your job, when you leave your job, you're not going to have insurance anymore because you can't take it with you. In most cases, it's not transferable. In some cases, you could transfer it out, but then you pay your own premium and it doesn't get paid by the company anymore. But at that time, remember, now you're retiring, you're 30 years older than when you started that job. How much more expensive do you think that little 50,000 or 100,000 or 300, whatever it is going to cost you? It's going to be a large amount of money because now you're older, you may have some health issues. People don't think about these things. So that's number one. So anything that you have, whether it's from your job or you have a private company, any benefit, you'll get 5 points for that. And then if you have the appropriate amount of insurance, okay, then you'll get an additional 10%, okay, 10 points.
And
how do we figure that, right?
Okay, I was going to say, how do we calculate what's appropriate?
That's a whole nother calculation that either your insurance guy or your financial advisor has to kind of walk you through it. Every company has a little bit of a different way to calculate that. Some people count certain things in your net worth. Some people don't. Like the home you live in, I personally think if you live in a home and it's paid off or you have equity in the home, that should go towards your net worth because you want to secure that loan and you want to secure that bag for your family, so to speak. So everybody has it's all my business in the financial service industry. It's all speculation. Everybody who's the smarter guy in the room, who has more letters behind their name, I'll tell you right now, it ain't me. I don't have the letters behind my name. I just keep it real with people and I show them what I do to protect my family and how I became financially stable and healthy. And I teach other people how to do that. And it's as simple as that. I do work with those guys because when I need them, I pull them out of my pocket and we have the whole alphabet there. But
you go.
You can't be the best at everything, but you can work with the people who are.
That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah, that's the key. So now we have, let's say, some type of a death benefit, but it's not a lot. Okay, you get another 5%. So now you got like 37.5% or something, or 40%. I don't know. You have a 60% chance of financial devastation occurring at some point in your life. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
60%.
I don't want
a stroke
that.
happens every 40 seconds.
Jesus.
So what we do, okay, is to fill the gaps. Obviously, how do we fill the gaps? Here comes the product, right? Now we get to go ahead and sell the product, right? You need this policy and that policy and this policy and do the responsible thing. Listen, you have to live as well. We don't want to change your lifestyle, but we want to make sure you're protected. So what I did was I found certain companies, and I have an exclusive dashboard and relationship with these companies that allow me to attach living benefits, riders to these life policies that will give you long-term care, disability, like riders. Now, is it the best to have an individual policy for absolutely. But when we're in the accumulation phase in our life and we're out there looking to build wealth, we want to have the coverage, but we don't want it to break our pockets because we want to invest in our businesses and we want to spend time with our families, and you should. So the first thing you do is make sure you have the appropriate amount of coverage. We get you a life policy to fill those gaps with those riders, and we can bring you from 40% to 100%, and you'll have a full plan. And what that means is that nothing life throws at you can knock you out financially.
That's huge. It sounds like what you're able to do with that doesn't just make it more convenient, but also is cost effective too.
Yeah, 100%.
Is that right? versus going with all sorts of different a la carte options to get to 100% coverage.
Absolutely.